Welcome back to On Tour on the Scene magazine. My name is Florentino Buenaventura, the host, and like always, we have an amazing guest today. We didn't talk about this earlier, but Brian, you were like one of the first guys I interviewed. You and Jonathan Butler. I
Oh,
was
get out.
connected with,
Wow.
back in, oh man, I think it was
Back in the day.
2000. Yeah, I think it was 2014, 15 that we did an
Oh,
interview
okay.
with you, and we had just started this thing called uh, 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 you know, online talk show about the music industry called The Changing Stage, and you were one of the first guests. Other than a couple of local guys, it was pretty cool, and we've had you on a couple of times since then. We had you with Jackie's Groove, a few years later, and then back in
That's right.
2020 we had you on with. Us at the NAM show when we were doing all the broadcasting for NAM. So, welcome, Brian. Thanks for joining
Well,
us.
thank you. Thanks for having me back.
Yes, yeah, for sure, man. Well, you've been a busy cat since 2015, bro. You've been doing a lot of projects, and we're going to talk quite a bit about that stuff. Plus, you've got your own live streaming show, and you've got some new things coming up. So, um, I guess the first one, why you're in the scene, going to be in the Scene magazine, is that you're
Yeah.
coming here to San Diego. You're going to be here June for the Smooth San Diego Smooth Jazz Festival on the 21st and the 22nd. I said you're going to be
Yeah,
here the
it's 2 days.
22nd.
So I'll be on.
Yeah, Sunday or Monday or
Yeah.
Saturday. Okay, so you're going to be on
Uh,
Sun.
I'm doing the Sunday,
Okay, okay, um,
I think.
cool.
I don't know. I could
I,
double check my. Should we do that?
yeah, I think it was
We
at
get
least
the wrong info.
I looked on it. It's
Wait a
the
minute. No, I'm
21st.
on Saturday, 21.
Yeah, you're the
My
big
bad.
headliner on the 21st. So
I can't keep it straight.
you know, because the Scene SD is all about San Diego. Let's kind of start with what you're going to be doing at the show, what people can expect, what maybe they might be surprised to find out about, and then what's your favorite thing about San Diego? Two-part question.
Oh, man. Okay. So, first of all, the show I put together this really fun, basically a festival show made for an outside, get people up, having a good time. So that's what we're going to bring to San Diego. I curtail my shows if I'm doing an evening with in a theater. It's going to be a totally different show than if we're outside and there's a few thousand people been sitting there all day. They're hot, they're tired. Although in San Diego at night they're not hot anymore.
Yeah.
uh, you know, Maybe that is the one of so to segue to what's my favorite thing about San Diego. I mean, everybody talks about the weather. That does not suck.
No, it doesn't. That's what brought me here, man.
There you go. Very
So,
nice. Very
oh,
nice.
awesome,
But
awesome.
besides that, I mean, it's just about San Diego's pretty chill. It's like kind of the chillest place to me in Southern California. I lived in LA for 17 years. Not chill, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So when we want to chill out, we drive down to San Diego, and it's like, okay, this is sweet. So love it down
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. It's beautiful. And then you're going to be
Yeah,
performing at the Rady Shell, which is right there along the
yeah.
bay, and you got that. I almost would find that distracting if I was on stage, just wanting to watch the boats go by. So, with that said,
Never thought about that.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
now I am.
Well, you're looking out at you know 10,000 plus people, so I guess
Yeah, I'll be
you got a
looking at the.
few you got a few things going
Yeah,
on, but you've
yeah.
also got you're gonna have a crazy lineup this year. You've got October London, Will Downing, you've got Eric Darius, all kinds of cats. Are you going to be interacting with
Cool.
those guys at all in your shows or in any of their shows? Can people expect
Uh,
some collabs that way?
I don't believe anything has been discussed, but you never know, man. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, jump up
Come
on
to
the
the show.
keyboard or have a sax player come on board with it. So,
There
and
you go.
obviously this is smooth jazz show. Although I
Yeah,
think smooth jazz has kind of bridged so many different genres, much like yourself. You've been kind of
it's a broad word these days.
yeah, yeah. It's R&B, it's funk. It's
Yeah.
a little bit of rock, soul, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, you know, you have had a transition in sounds, even going back to like the Long Night Out in 1994. Tell me
Yeah.
about what's influenced your transition. Everything from jazz, funk, R&B, soul to synth stuff, maybe throwing in a little new age, whatever. You are
Yeah.
inspired by music. So tell us about that transition that you've had throughout the years.
I, it's it's like I just want to try different things most of the time. I
Yep.
get bored really easily, so I am not the kind of artist that wants to make the same record over and over and over. And I understand why some people do that because people love a sound that they created and they just want more of that. Um, so I don't know. I just kept trying to experiment with different things. And as you listen to new music too, you get inspired. And as you're out on tour, you get inspired by the fans of what they're reacting to. It's like, okay, they're feeling that. So maybe I'll just mess around with some more of that. Um, and I think it depends on tech too, the technology. When I get a new keyboard or a new plug-in or whatever, I'll go through all the sounds and different sounds will inspire. So I kind of feel it from different places. Now and then I've taken definitely a left turn. I remember the first time I did a funk record, the Bringing Back the Funk album. That was inspired by sitting in with Prince in Vegas one night.
Oh wow.
So it changed my life. Yeah, that was unbelievable. I did a jazz trio album called Winter Stories after walking around Chicago in the wintertime for 10 days. So sometimes I'm inspired by things and events and just living. So I guess all kinds of stuff. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it did. It did. And it kind of brought a couple of other cool pieces. So you mentioned Prince, obviously a big inspiration.
Sure.
He was,
Yeah.
I don't look like it now, but I used to in like the '80s dress like Prince. It was just kind of funny. And a lot of the cats I
Oh,
grew up
nice.
with went on to play with him and Sheila, Eddie M, sax player extraordinaire, John Paris, who's Earth, Wind and Fire. He did Madhouse and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Um, Aside from Prince, who else is uh, uh, influential in your sound from back in the day? And then the second part of that is, who are the cats now that make you go, wow, I need to step up my game, or wow, that was really something that makes me think and want to take it to another direction. So,
Yeah.
old
So
school, new
cats from
school.
back in the day. Yeah, sure. I mean, some of the records that just blew my mind, when I was kind of coming up, were those Sanborn albums from the mid '80s. Marcus Miller produced. Those just sonically were just insane. Musically, I was trying to figure out what are those chords. I don't even know now. I asked Sanborn this. We went on tour. I got to tour with him. We did a summer tour together. I was like, man, Dave, what are those chords? How'd you come up with those? And he started chuckling. He's like, man, me and Marcus used to just sit around and just play, just move our fingers around the keyboard just to get the weirdest chord that would fit with a melody we were trying to sing. So I was like, what? So that's how they're so non-traditional. If you go back and listen to some of those records. So that was pretty cool. Definitely my biggest influence. I mean, also we're talking about uh, Yellow Jackets, Pat Metheny, Chick Corea, Jeff Lorber. So kind of a lot of that, as well as the horn bands, of course, Earth, Wind, and Fire, and all the bands like that. So those kind of two schools were influential for me early on, and as I got older, I started listening to pretty much everything. So I'm all over the map these days. But so who gets me excited now? That's a good question. Whew. Um, hmm. I mean, I'm checking out a lot of jazz from Europe these days. A lot of things on the ECM label are really chill, but very musical. I don't know if you've gotten into that stuff at all. There's a lot of piano players, European, that most people in the States never even heard of. It's crazy. But I kind of went down that rabbit hole. And my Winter Stories is slightly inspired by that as well. So
Okay.
if you
Okay.
listen to that, some of those albums, you're like, I see. Um, wow. Beyond that, I'm just kind of, like I said, all over the place, listening to, you never know where you're going to get inspiration from. So when I'm driving around, I'll just put on different XM stations. Man, I'll
All
go
right.
through, we'll start with jazz, right? Traditional jazz.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll go over to the EDM station. I'll go to hip hop. I'll go to country. I'll go to top 20. I'll go to so I'm literally going because
Yeah. You can hear it in
I'm
your
like, oh,
music.
that's kind of, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go.
A lot of
You know,
amazing sounds and textures out of your tracks there, and kind of staying on this a little bit. Who do you want to collab
yeah.
with? Who are some artists that you haven't had a chance to work with that you might want to
Mm.
spend some time and spend some musical energy towards?
I must admit, I got to work with a bunch of people on a new album that I'm in the midst of right now, coming out later this year in September, I think.
Yeah,
Album's
day
called Day
day
Trip.
trip. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's a little more on the fusion side. So I got to work with people that I had never worked with but wanted to. And I recorded with Branford Marcellus, Randy Brecker,
yeah.
Mike Stern. I mean, legend right there. I mean, whew. Um, and then Sheila E is on this record.
Oh wow, yeah,
And then a lot of people that I have worked with, but got another chance to work with. Nathan East and Marcus Miller are the two bass players on the record.
yep.
Not too bad. Uh, and who else is
Shout out
on
to
this? Oh,
shout out to
Kirk McNeil.
Nathan. Yeah, Nathan's a San Diego boy, so shout out to Nathan. Yeah, yeah. He's
Yeah, yeah.
originally from
He
here. His
actually
family's
played
here.
the bass parts on the entire album. I brought him into Chicago. We tracked for about a week.
Okay,
Did all the initial rhythm section tracking dates with Nathan and Lil Jon Roberts
uh,
on drums.
okay, okay.
Monster, man.
Awesome, awesome.
So much fun. And I co-wrote the songs with Nicholas Cole, young songwriter, producer, keyboard player himself. So I'm way into his stuff. He's got a new record out, actually coming out later this year as well. So that was the core section, but adding all the guests all over the place was so much fun. So
That's amazing. In fact,
I kind of
I,
like one at a time. I work on this record, work with people, and then I work on another record. I'm like, okay, now who do I want to collab with? You know?
yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
then you're giving the fans a chance to be a part of this with Indiegogo. Tell us about what
Yeah,
that experience is like.
sure. So Indiegogo, if you're not familiar, is it's a crowdfunding platform that allows indie artists such as myself, because I was on labels for 20 years, and then I was like, you know what? I don't want to have to, you know, sell the label on what I want to do creatively. So I decided, let me part ways, let me do my own thing. So Indiegogo allows me to raise funds, but also provide what they call perks to the fans, so that the fans can get stuff that you would never be able to get. For instance, I have people come to the mastering sessions for a certain perk level. So they get to come hang out while we're mastering this record. I do dinners and other hangs and backstage things and all kinds of stuff, as well as just, getting the CD autographed. So all kinds of different levels, but everything kind of helps because making records, especially on the level of this day trip one, is still very, very expensive. Well over 100 grand. Budget for this one. There's just so many players and studios and engineers involved. It just it adds up, and I like to pay people fairly. If somebody says, "Hey, I need this," I'm like, "Okay." I'm not trying to be like, well, can you do it for? No, I can't stand it. So I'll either do it or be like, I can't cut it. But
Yeah.
thankfully, that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, well, hey man, you've been burning up the charts, and I will respectfully say when I first heard I was going to have you on the show back in 2014, 15, Rick was like, this guy is just killing it on the jazz charts. I was just starting to learn about jazz a little bit. I had heard
Okay.
about you, but I didn't know much about what was going on. I knew, Jonathan Butler from his days in the '80s with Teddy Riley and his first album.
Mm,
So I was just starting to cut my
sure.
teeth a little bit in the scene. And then when you start to discover, you've inspired so many directions in the realm of jazz that you've led. It's been amazing to watch that the growth and the transitions that you've had. So that's been a very cool
Oh man,
thing.
thanks.
And then, we were doing live streaming concerts during that time of lockdown with the pandemic. But you actually
Yeah,
took it a whole step further and you were just doing a regular thing where you were doing shows from your house, you
yeah.
and that glorious studio that you have there called The Hang. And you're on season 6, right? Is that where we're at now? 2025?
I just debuted that last week, and this is a new studio, brand new. So I recently moved last year and had to put a whole new situation together. And literally last week was my first show back. So welcome.
Yeah, you gave me a little
There it
tour.
is.
You become a video guy
Yeah.
as well as a musical genius. So next time I'm gonna have you actually do the video recording on this one.
Okay.
Next
Done.
interview is going to be Brian. So it's very cool. Tell us a bit more about what to expect this season from The Hang.
I think it's just about continuing to uh, basically be a place on Friday nights that the fans can come and they know they're going to just forget about everything. We have fun. I play music. We're drinking wine. It's just a place to completely chill out after everybody's work week and know that it's also a kind of a safe place from. I'm not talking politics or this or that. I'm not talking about anything. You know what I mean? We're keeping it about the music, and I think people have enough stresses in their lives with whatever they're doing, that it's people look forward to just chilling out and not thinking.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm just going to do more. I'll have some guests here and there popping in
Can you tell us who? Yeah.
randomly.
Can you give us
No,
a
not
nope?
yet.
You got a brother. Got to
We'll
try, man.
see.
You got to try.
Amen. Amen. We'll see.
Uh,
So yeah, I mean, I'm getting a new piano next week, so that's going to be over there. So I'm going to do a couple hangs from sitting at a grand piano.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's a little different, kind of cool.
Are you bringing
Um,
anybody in to produce? I mean, kind of a little off the hang, but you're talking about the studio. Are you
sure.
doing other records besides your own? I guess that's what I'm asking.
No,
Okay.
no. I got to a point to where there's just so much going on. I'm constantly doing shows,
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah,
in and out of the road. And this fall, I'm going to be out for like 6 weeks straight
yeah,
again.
yeah.
So I literally have time to do my record, stream the hang, and
Hmm.
go on tour. And I had to shut down the other productions. It's so time consuming.
It
I
is. It
just
is,
can't do it.
and you
Yeah.
really, unfortunately, the money isn't in the music right now. It's in what you're doing. It's in the branding. It's in it's in obviously live concerts and merch and anything else, sponsorships, all that fun stuff. So it is hard to make a living
Yeah,
as a
I mean, there
producer.
used to be budgets, early 2000s, and then that just went away.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's
When
definitely.
people started saying, "Hey, could you produce my record for like, nothing?" Not nothing, but
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like, ah,
you know,
I wish, but not gonna happen.
I see cats that we all know. I won't mention any names, but cats doing stuff for like 200-300 bucks for a song that used to get you know 5 figures, 6 figures, that kind of thing to do an album, and they're just
Yeah,
like they're doing bro deals, but it's like a little
it's tough,
heartbreaking.
man.
Yeah, it is
It
definitely.
is. It is. It
Yeah,
is. So
totally understand.
you
But
just figure it out.
it looked like it's a.
Features here and there, like
I'm
another
sorry.
piano part on. I do features now and then,
Okay.
like a piano part for other people's records. But
Yeah, yeah.
that's kind of the extent what I'm able to do these days. So,
Very
which
cool.
is that's still fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I totally get it. Um,
Yeah.
you've got big shout out for your own festival that you've got coming up. Tell us about what to expect in
Sure.
Napa this year.
Oh man, Napa Valley Jazz Getaway. It's our geez, 12th or 13th year. You know what? I forgot. We've been doing it many, many years now. It's 5 days in Napa Valley, and the lineup this year is really, really spectacular. I'm very excited about this. Boney James and Stokely. We got Gerald Albright coming, Sheila E., the Barclays, Damian Escobar, and a whole lot of other people, as well as over 40 winery partners. So there's just stuff going on all day long, all over the place. We got afternoon free wine tastings while people are jamming. And then, of course, the main stage shows at night as well. So I just really, really a lot of fun. And people obviously look forward to this one all year long. People have been coming for years. And then what's funny is a lot of times I'll be out on the road and people tell me, "Oh man, Napa's on my bucket list." It's one of those for people, and that's really really amazing to hear from folks. So pretty cool.
That is awesome. I'm a former Northern California patriot or expat, I guess.
Aha,
I used to live
nice.
in Sacramento, and we used to go over there and hang in the
Oh,
Napa in the Bay Area and stuff like that. So it's a
yeah.
beautiful area, and the music
Oh,
is
yeah.
amazing. I've got a friend that's on. I can't remember what station she's on, but she broadcasts out of Napa. I should connect you to at some point, and you can do a
Oh,
little
okay.
on air thing. It's a terrestrial
Sure.
radio station over there, so I'll connect you. Little networking, folks,
Very good. Oh,
on tour with the SceneSD magazine. So you know, as we've talked about what you've done in the past, a couple of things that are coming up in the future. Um, what's next? What can you share with people that they may not know about where you're going?
oh man. Um, that's a big question. I think I've finally kind of gotten to a place where I'm really, really comfortable and happy, um, just in this groove of, hey, I'm making a record. I get inspired to make a certain kind of record. Then I put a band and a show together and we tour that record. I'll record or film it. Um, by the way, the new Trilogy tour live in Detroit just came out. Little shout out for that. Um, and then just kind of do it over again with a little break in between. So that's kind of what I'm feeling right now. No other crazy plans. With the getaways, though, I am planning on adding other cities. So we also have New Orleans Jazz Getaway, that's in March. And we're going to announce another city this fall, I believe, launching October of 2026. So I'm going to keep moving around different getaways, even though we'll still keep Napa Valley as kind of the main one.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I don't know if you knew, we did the Chicago Jazz Getaway for 6 years,
yeah.
and now we're doing New Orleans, and then we're going to go somewhere else and just kind of rotate that second one around.
I should
So that's
lobby for
cool.
San Diego, man. Get you over here. we
All
got
right.
we got your weather, brother. We got your weather for you, so
I'm
whatever
hearing
time of
that.
year you can do a show. Well,
Yeah.
you know, Brian, I always appreciate your time, brother. I know you're a hugely busy man. That kind of concludes this interview for uh, you know, this portion of On Tour with Brian
All right.
Culbertson as our guest. And, I look forward to seeing you at the show. It's going to be June 21st. So get your tickets,
Yep.
folks. Now you can go to Rainbow Promotions to get your tickets. And let me make sure I've got the
I
URL
probably got a
corrected.
link on my website too, brianculbertson.com.
There you go. That's even better. So it's smoothjazzfestival.com. That's San Diego smoothjazzfestival.com. A big long one. That's why I didn't remember it.
Oh, cool. Got it.
That's where you can get tickets. There's a bunch of places. You could also get it from the Radio Shell, obviously brianculbertson.com. But not just that, you've got all kinds of crazy cool things. Join your Patreon for the hang. Support. That's really really big because we're gonna keep getting this incredible music from artists like you, Brian. If we don't support, you know. So with that said, again, thank you, sir. Any parting thoughts before you go? You want to tell the fans?
Actually, you just touched on the Patreon. I forgot to mention, I don't know if you even know this, but as part of Patreon, I also stream on Mondays and Wednesdays privately
Okay.
to Patreon members. So that's when I do a lot of the behind the scenes, creating music from scratch, really breaking down tracks and Pro Tools and how I create tracks and mix them. So the fans have really been excited by that because most people don't fully understand, how do you make a record? How do you write a song? How do you do all this kind of stuff? So I kind of really get in the weeds and showing people and talking about it and trying to explain it so that a regular person who doesn't know what a studio is
Yeah, yeah,
can kind of understand. And I think a lot of fans have a new appreciation for listening not only to my music but all kinds of music, um, after kind of having their eyes open a little bit of like what it takes and all the layers that are created. Like, wow, I never really paid attention to this or that. So
yeah.
that's been a really fun kind of side effect that has happened as part of the Patreon.
Yeah, it's that's one of the beautiful things about technology this day and age.
Yeah.
Being able to invite the fans into the process and become part of the creation of this incredible
Oh yeah.
art that you're putting out. So, well, brother, hey man, it's
Hmm.
always a huge pleasure. I look forward to our next one. I'll see you at the jazz festival, and make sure folks come say hi to me if you see me over there as well. And if you have, or any thoughts you want to share with Brian, let me know. I will convey those to him. Or also, you can go to his website to do that directly. So that's always fun. Again, brother, thank you very much. And till the next one, we're out of here.